Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's stories dive into the fragile side of love, how it can rise from heartbreak, and how crossing lines in friendship can change everything. These are not just stories, they're experiences that could happen to anyone. Stick with me until the end, and if you feel the emotions, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's begin. First story, Shadows of Yesterday.
Maya and Alex had been inseparable since high school. They knew each other's secrets, heartbreaks, and ridiculous quirks. Their friendship was effortless. Laughs over spilled coffee, late-night calls, silent support when life hit hard. Everyone around them assumed they were destined to stay best friends forever. But everything changed one Friday night. They'd gone out to celebrate Alex's promotion. The restaurant was crowded, the music loud, the lights dim. One table over, couples were holding hands, leaning into each other. Maya laughed nervously at a joke Alex made, and suddenly, something inside her shifted. She noticed the way his jaw tightened when he smiled, the brush of his hand against hers as they clinked glasses. Alex, for his part, felt it too. He had always seen Maya as his closest friend, but tonight, the playful teasing and lingering glances felt different. He couldn't ignore the pull between them. As they left the restaurant, walking down the quiet streets, the conversation lulled. The air felt charged, as if the city itself was holding its breath. I don't know why I'm saying this, Alex began, voice low, but sometimes I feel like I'm seeing you differently, like I'm noticing things I never did before. Maya's heart raced. She wanted to laugh it off, to dismiss the tension, but the truth was undeniable. She had felt it too, this magnetic pull that made every touch electric, every smile heavier than it used to be. Neither wanted to risk the friendship, yet neither could deny the curiosity. They were standing at the edge of something new, something dangerous, something that could change everything. A single step in the wrong or right direction, and their lives would never be the same. The next few days were awkward. Every message, every casual text felt heavier than before. Maya found herself rereading Alex's words, analyzing the tone, the pauses, the emojis. He was just being friendly, or was he hinting at something more? At work, they sat together during lunch, and the air between them crackled. Alex made a joke, and Maya laughed louder than necessary, trying to shake off the tension. But when he reached over to push a stray strand of hair from her face, her stomach twisted. They froze for a moment, just staring at each other, aware that the line they had never crossed was suddenly impossibly close. That night, Maya called her roommate, desperate for guidance. "I think I'm in trouble," she whispered. "It's Alex. I can't stop thinking about him." Her roommate laughed nervously. "Trouble? You mean the kind that could ruin your friendship forever?" Maya swallowed hard. That was exactly the problem. Because what they were feeling, this magnetic pull, this restless energy, was mutual. Alex wasn't pretending. She could see it in the way he lingered after conversations, the small gestures that said more than words ever could. Then, on a rainy Thursday evening, it happened. They were studying at Alex's apartment. Books spread out, coffee cups half empty. A thunderstorm rattled the windows, and the power flickered. They laughed at the sudden darkness, then the storm became a quiet backdrop to a silence that was anything but. Maya felt his hand brush hers, not intentionally perhaps, but the contact lingered. Their eyes met, wide and unguarded, and for a heartbeat, neither spoke. Then Alex leaned in, just slightly, his gaze searching hers. Maybe we're crossing a line we can't uncross, he said, voice barely above a whisper. Maya's pulse raced. The thought of losing this friendship, of ruining the world they had built together, terrified her. Yet something deeper, something primal, urged her forward. She had never felt this alive, this exposed, this vulnerable. The question loomed. Was this curiosity worth the risk? Or were they about to destroy the one bond that had always been safe? The next day, neither spoke of the storm, but the tension followed them everywhere, at work, in texts, even during casual conversations with friends. Maya tried to act normal, but every glance from Alex made her stomach twist. The line they had crossed was invisible, yet impossible to ignore. Later that week, Alex invited her for a walk along the river at sunset. The city's reflection shimmered on the water, and autumn leaves swirled around their feet. They walked in silence for a while, the golden light painting their faces in warmth, yet a storm brewed between them. Finally, Alex stopped and turned to her. "Maya, I don't want to lose you," he said, voice trembling slightly. "Our friendship, it means everything to me, but I can't ignore what's happening between us." Maya's heart pounded. She wanted to tell him that she felt the same, that the pull had been there for months, that she had imagined this moment 1,000 times. But fear gripped her. The fear of breaking the bond they had built, of losing him forever. "I feel it too," she admitted, her voice barely a whisper. "But I'm terrified, Alex. Terrified that if we try this, we might destroy what we've always had." He smiled faintly, a mixture of hope and pain. "Maybe that's the risk we have to take. Maybe some things are worth the danger." They stood there, hands almost touching, hearts beating in unison, and for a moment the world faded. Maya realized that love and fear often walk hand in hand. Choosing the safe path would mean denying the truth, while stepping forward could either ignite something beautiful or shatter everything. Then, slowly, she reached for his hand. Not all fears disappeared, but a spark of possibility lit her chest. Alex squeezed her hand gently, as if acknowledging the fragility of this new beginning. In that moment, Maya knew. Whatever happened next, they would face it together. The friendship that had been their foundation was strong enough to support the daring leap into love, uncertain yet undeniably theirs.
Second story, When Lines Blur.
Anna sat by the window, watching the rain slide down the glass in thin, silver lines. 3 years had passed since the accident, but the memories still haunted her like fresh wounds. The day she lost her husband had split her life into 2 parts, before and after. Outwardly, she functioned, went to work, smiled politely, even joined friends for dinner sometimes. But inside, she was a shell, hollowed out by grief. Every little thing reminded her of him, the smell of his cologne lingering on an old scarf, the song they used to dance to, even the empty side of the bed. She convinced herself that love was something she'd already had, something she could never allow again. To move on felt like betrayal. Then, life intervened. One rainy morning in the office cafe, she bumped into Alex. He was new at the firm, quiet, with warm brown eyes and a kind smile that seemed too genuine for the corporate world. He spilled a little coffee on her coat and apologized, laughing nervously. That laugh, that smile, it made something stir inside her chest, something she thought had died. She tried to push it away. "No," she told herself, "I can't feel this." But Alex kept appearing, at the elevator, at the lunch table, in the hallway. He wasn't pushy. He didn't flirt. He just listened. He asked about her day and actually cared to hear the answer. Slowly, Anna caught herself looking forward to those moments. She started sharing small details, stories she hadn't told anyone in years. Around him, the air felt lighter, her own laughter less forced. But at night, the dreams returned. She relived the screech of tires, the shattered glass, the silence after the crash. And when she woke, guilt wrapped around her like chains. How could she laugh with Alex when her husband's memory still lived inside her? How could she want more when part of her heart still belonged to the past? Anna avoided Alex for a week. She skipped the cafe, took the stairs instead of the elevator, even worked late just to avoid bumping into him. But fate had a cruel way of ignoring her plans. One evening, while leaving the office, she found Alex outside, struggling with his umbrella against the wind. She almost walked past him, but he caught her eye and smiled through the rain. "You're really going to let me lose this battle alone?" he joked, holding up the mangled umbrella. For the first time in years, Anna laughed. Not the polite kind, but a real, unguarded laugh. Something inside her cracked open. She ended up sharing her umbrella with him, walking shoulder to shoulder through the storm. They talked about everything: books, movies, the little annoyances of work. It felt easy. Days turned into weeks, and the quiet companionship grew into something deeper. Alex never asked about her past, but he sensed the weight she carried. When she finally opened up, hesitant, trembling about the accident, about the man she had loved and lost, he didn't try to fix her. He just listened, his hand resting gently over hers, grounding her in the present. That night, Anna cried, not from pain, but from the strange relief of finally letting someone in. Still, guilt gnawed at her. She would look at Alex and feel warmth, then remember her husband's smile and feel like she was betraying him. The conflict inside her grew unbearable. One Sunday morning, as autumn leaves littered the park, Alex invited her for coffee. They sat on a bench, golden light streaming through the trees. He looked at her carefully, as if reading the storm in her eyes. "Anna," he said softly, "you don't have to rush. I know you've loved deeply, and I would never try to erase that. But sometimes life gives us a second chance, and maybe it's okay to take it." Her chest tightened. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to let herself fall again. But in the shadows of her heart, her husband's memory still lingered, whispering that love after loss was dangerous, even wrong. That night, Anna stood in front of the mirror, staring at her reflection. Her eyes were no longer as empty as they had been months ago. But the question remained: could she allow herself to step into the light of new love without betraying the past that still haunted her? Weeks passed, and Alex became a steady presence in Anna's life. He never pushed, never demanded more than she could give. Sometimes they shared coffee in silence. Other times they laughed so hard their stomachs hurt. Slowly, Anna found herself looking forward to his messages, his smile, the way he made the world feel lighter. But the guilt never fully left. One night, she opened the old wooden box on her dresser, the one that held her husband's wedding ring. She traced it with trembling fingers, her heart aching with the familiar weight of loss. "If I move on," she whispered into the empty room, "am I leaving you behind?" Tears blurred her vision. She clutched the ring until her knuckles turned white, torn between the memory of the man she had loved and the possibility of a future with Alex. The next day, Anna met Alex at the riverfront. The city lights shimmered on the water, and the cool night air carried the scent of autumn leaves. He looked at her, sensing something had shifted. "I need to tell you something," she said, voice quivering. "Part of me feels disloyal. Like if I let myself be happy with you, I'm betraying him." Alex stepped closer, his eyes gentle but firm. "Anna, love isn't a betrayal. It's proof that your heart is still alive. You don't stop honoring the past by living in the present. You carry it with you, always. But you deserve more than grief. You deserve to feel joy again." Something inside her broke, not in pain this time, but in release. She realized her love for her husband would never disappear, but it didn't have to chain her to sorrow. She could carry him in her heart and still let someone else in. Anna slipped the ring back into the box that night, not as a goodbye, but as a quiet promise that love can take many forms. And when Alex reached for her hand the next morning, she didn't pull away. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to step forward, not into forgetting, but into beginning again.